message to you, and through you, to the people of Norway. Your country faced a tragedy earlier this year with the murder of 77 people. It was a deliberate assault on the very heart of your society. Yet, in the face of such adversity, the response at every level, public and private, of Norwegian life has been consistent with your historic adherence to the values of openness, integrity, and justice. For this, the world admires you and all the citizens of this great country. I offer you the deepest sympathy of the people of Liberia for the loss of life, and I extend to you our profound respect. In its selection this year, the Nobel Committee has brought here 3 women linked by their common commitment to change and in their effort to promote the rule of law and democracy in societies riven by conflict. The fact that we, 2 women from Liberia, are here today to share a stage with a sister from Yemen speaks to the universality of our struggle. The enduring spirit of the great women whose work transcended gender and geological boundaries is in this room with us today. From Baroness Bertha Felicie Sophie von Sutter of Austria, honors for promoting the Hague Peace Conference in 1899, to Jane Addams of Hull House Frame, from American activists Emily Green Bosch to Betty Williams and Marriott Corrigan of Northern Ireland, from Mother Teresa to the heroic Aung San Suu Kyi, as well as Rigoberta Menchú, Judy Williams, Shirin Ebadi, and Wangari Maathai. These are our forebears, those women who are Nobel Peace Laureates. They have challenged us to redouble our efforts in the relentless pursuit of peace. I would like to take a moment to honor the memory of the late Wangari Maathai, the first African woman to receive this great honor. Her accomplishments will forever inspire us. Accepting the award in December 2004, Wangari said, and I quote, "Those of us who have been privileged to receive education, skills and experiences, and even power must be role models for the next generation of leadership. May we all resolve to fulfill that duty." I also honor the memory of countless women whose efforts and sacrifice will never be recognized and who in their private and silent struggles helped to shape our world. As Lima and Takalu knows, this award belongs to the people whose aspirations we have the privilege to represent and whose rights we have the obligation to defend. We are but their reflection. With such distinction comes great responsibility. History will judge us not by what we say at this moment in time, but what we do next to lift the lives of our countrymen and women. It will judge us by the legacy we leave behind for generations to come. Tawakkul, you are an inspirational leader, an activist for peace and women's rights. In your country, autocratic rule prevails, but where they had no voice, you found a way to be heard. Lima, you are a peacemaker. You have the courage to mobilize the women of Liberia to take back their country. You redefined the front line of a brutal civil conflict, women dressed in white, demonstrating in the streets, a barrier no warlord was brave enough to cross. Mine has been a long journey, a lifetime journey to Oslo. It was shaped by the values of my parents and my two grandmothers, indigenous Liberian farmers and market traders, neither of whom could read or write. They taught me that only through service is one's life truly blessed. My journey was supported by the many teachers and mentors who guided me into a world opened up by the enlightenment of higher education, which led to my conviction that access to quality education is the social justice issue of our times. My life was safeguarded when thousands of women mobilized around the world to free me from imprisonment. And my life was spared by individual acts of compassion by some of my captors. My life was forever transformed when I was given the privilege to serve the people of Liberia, taking on the awesome responsibility of rebuilding a nation nearly destroyed by war and plunder. There was no roadmap for post-conflict transformation, but we knew that we could not let our country slip back into the past. We understood that our greatest responsibility was to keep the peace. Your Majesties, my sisters and brothers, the Nobel Committee cannot license us, our three laureates, to speak for women, but it has provided us a platform from which to speak to women around the globe. Whatever their nationality, their color, their religion, or their station in life, it is you, my sisters, and especially those who have seen the devastation that merciless violence can bring, to whom I dedicate my remarks and the prize. There is no doubt that the madness that wrought untold destruction in recent years in the Democratic Republic of Congo, in Rwanda, in Sierra Leone, in Sudan, in Somalia, in the former Yugoslavia, and in my own Liberia, found its expression in unprecedented levels of cruelty directed against women. Although international tribunals have correctly declared that rape, used as a weapon of war, is a crime against humanity, rapes in times of lawlessness continue unabated. The number of our sisters and daughters of all ages brutally defiled over the past 2 decades staggers the imagination, and the number of lives devastated by such evil defies comprehension. Through the mutilation of our bodies and the destruction of our ambition, women and girls have disproportionately paid the price of domestic and international armed conflict. We've paid the price in the currencies of blood, of tears, of dignity. However, the need to defend the rights of women is not limited to the battlefield, and the threats to those rights do not emanate only from armed conflict. Girls' education, seen far too often as an unnecessary indulgence rather than the key investment that it is still underfunded and understaffed. Too often girls are discouraged from pursuing an academic training no matter how promising they may be. As we celebrate today, we are mindful of the enormous challenges that we still face. In too many parts of the world, crimes against women are still underreported, and the the laws protecting women under-enforced. In this 21st century, surely there is no place for human trafficking that victimizes almost 1 million people a year, mostly girls and women. Surely there is no place for girls and women to be beaten and abused. Surely there is no place for the continuing belief that leadership qualities belong to only one gender. Yet there was occasion for hope and for optimism. There are good signs of progress and change. Around the world, slowly international law and an awareness of human rights are illuminating dark corners in schools, in courts, in the marketplace. The windows of closed chambers are opened and the light is coming in. Democracies, even if tentatively, are taking roots in lands unaccustomed to freedom. As curtains are raised and the sun shines upon dark places which were previously closed, the invisible comes into view. Technology has turned our world into one interconnected neighborhood. What happens in one place is seen in every corner, and there has been no better time for the spread of peace, democracy, and their attending social justice and fairness for all. Today across the globe, women and also men from all walks of life are finding the courage to say loudly and firmly in 1,000 languages, no more. They reject mindless violence and defend the fundamental rights of democracy, of an open society, of freedom, and of peace. And so I urge my sisters and my brothers not to be afraid. Be not afraid to denounce injustice, though you may be outnumbered. Be not afraid to seek peace, even if your voice may be small. Be not afraid to demand peace. If I might thus speak to girls and women everywhere, I would issue them this simple invitation. My sisters, my daughters, my friends, find your voice.